can't keep getting away with this! He can't keep getting away with it! He won't.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 14th. It's October. It's 2025. And I just uploaded my first Patreon-only video to Patreon. It's uploading as we speak. But with that being said, a thank you to all the new supporters, etc. Are you kidding me? I can't stand the little facial recognition thing that pops up. It's disgraceful. It is what it is. Thank you to all the new people that are following me on Patreon. I'll make it worth your while. I really appreciate it. My truck appreciates it too. It's good gas money. At any rate, before we start this video, I just got this email. It says, Richie, my wife and I have been loyal followers of yours for a very long time. My wife of 40 years has a brain bleed. 8 days ago, she was airlifted to Morgantown, West Virginia. She has survived the surgery, and they have her intubated 8 days ago. I need prayers to the Father and Jesus to get the swelling to go down in her throat, or else they will have to put her in a trach tomorrow. My wife's name is Judy, and I love her so much. It would mean so much to me if you could talk to God and ask for the swelling to go down so they can remove the breathing tube safely. I'm not looking for a GoFundMe or anything like that. If you could just say a prayer for Judy, it would mean so much to me. She's my best friend. I have no family but a sister who lives in Connecticut who is praying very hard. Also, so as many people that could reach out to God would be very much appreciated. I know you are very busy, but I feel alone. And at 73 years of age, I have to drive 3 hours each way every other day to Morgantown to sit with her. I don't know what else to do but reach out to other Christians like yourself. Thank you, Jack. Unbelievable. So it's not often I do that, but it's not often I get a video, an email of that magnitude. So anybody that can literally pray for Jack and Judy, we have to remember that prayer is an incredibly, incredibly powerful weapon that I've said before, and I'll say it again. We don't use it as God intended it. And maybe this time around, we actually can. At any rate, Jack, we're with you. We're praying for you and Judy. Here we go. And the Patreon video that I promised, Patreon only, is actually uploading right now. So that'll be up probably at the same time this video's up. So there, as they say, is that. The digital ID, the social credit system that's tied to it, all orbits the massive lie of climate change, global warming, which is a complete and utter fraud. Complete and utter fraud. Just like COVID-19 was, complete and utter fraud. Let's go back to a video that I made 7 years ago that talks about global warming.
Believe in global warming. I say, no, I believe in global warming. I don't believe that human CO2 is causing that warming.
A few years ago, if you would ask me, I would tell you it's CO2. Why? Because just like everyone else in the public, I listened to what the media had to say.
To be on CNN, hello to all your viewers. I resent you calling me a denier. That is a word meant to put me down. I'm a skeptic about climate change, and I want to make it darn clear, Mr. Kenny's not a scientist. I am. He's the CEO of the Weather Channel now. I was the founder of the Weather Channel, not the co-founder.
And I'm glad you did, because I am addicted to the Weather Channel. I watch a lot of cable news.
Now. Hold on just a minute. I'm not done. And CNN has taken a very strong position on global warming that it is a consensus. Well, there is no consensus in science. Science isn't a vote. Science is about facts. And if you get down to the hard, cold facts, there's no question about it. Climate change is not happening. There is no significant man-made global warming now. There hasn't been any in the past, and there's no reason to expect any in the future. There's a whole lot of baloney, and yes, it has become a big political point of the Democratic Party and part of their platform, and I regret it's become political instead of scientific, but the science is on my side.
To prove the thesis, they commissioned computer modelling at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. This research laid the foundations for an agenda that's persisted for over 50 years.
Cut use of autos, use less electric power, have fewer children, limit growth.
All of this was fueling this ideology that there's too many people on the planet, there's not enough resources, and that something has to be done.
The natural world in which man lives and on which he depends is indeed deteriorating, is being destroyed in many instances at a rate that is accelerating and that can only continue to accelerate unless we begin to control the activities that are having this destructive impact.
In 1975, the Club of Rome published a second report, Mankind at the Turning Point. The lead quotation was telling.
The world has cancer, and the cancer is man.
The report concluded,
the solution of these crises can be developed only in a global context with full and explicit recognition of the emerging world system, a new world economic order, and a global resources allocation system.
In other words, technocracy, top-down control of everything, including populations. But if that was the solution, a worldwide problem was required. Climate change provided the answer, as admitted in a later Club of Rome document.
This is the quote from page 115. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through changed attitudes and behaviour that they can be overcome. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself. It really does look as though they are inventing climate change there.
They just made it up out of thin air, literally. That nobody really looks at that book and say, well, there you go. It's not, this has nothing to do with science whatsoever. They just made it up.
That clip right there was some incredibly awake scientists, and it was an excerpt from the video I just put up on RFB3 yesterday called Agenda 2030. These guys just make stuff up. The information's been out there for 50 years that climate change is a complete and utter hoax. But global warming, climate change, and depopulation and no more vehicles is the backbone of the digital dollar, of the digital ID, social credit system. You see what I'm saying? You want to go out to eat? Well, it depends on your carbon footprint, so forth and so on. I don't know how many times have I posted what photosynthesis is. Without CO2, there is no oxygen. Period. That's it. That's all there is to it. And people still don't even care to even look it up for themselves because it's easier to watch things on TikTok, so forth and so on. And by the way, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube are not the same thing. YouTube and Instagram have been around a long time, as has Facebook, and they're all bad for you. But if you moderate and use them, I mean, we're using it as the only weapon we have to reach the masses. But TikTok, don't go near it. It's the same thing as AI, except it just showed up. TikTok just showed up during the pandemic, and people were not only addicted to watching it, they were addicted to uploading no matter what, because it's a new weapon. Why do you think the billionaires just bought it? Because it's a platform? No, because it's a weapon that is incredibly addictive and incredibly suggestive. People can't get off of it. You know what I'm saying? Very, very similar to AI. But on that, I'll digress. A few other emails and text messages I got today were people that were all excited because they listened to me and they got their money out of the bank. They took their fiat currency, the ones and zeros, and turned it into physical gold and silver that they hold in their hands. And since they've done that, for some people, gold and silver has literally doubled, and it's at $4,180 an ounce right now. So if you had listened to me a year ago, you would have doubled your money, and it's actual physical money. If you listened to me 2 months ago, you're up $500 an ounce. And if you do it right now, gold is not going to stop going up because they're destroying the dollar right now. So all that's going to be left of actual wealth on this earth will be what you can hold in your hand. Get your money out of the bank. It's just that easy. Gold is going to skyrocket. It's not going to stop. They have to reevaluate it in order to destroy the dollar. Go to any gold video. Go to any banking channel if you can stand listening to it. I've done it, but it is what it is. Get your money out of the bank. Or don't. Leave it in there and let them steal it. Period. And it will not work with the digital dollar system, but there will still be a black market because there's a lot of us that ain't going to go down this path. Endure it to the end. Or don't. How come people that didn't take the vaccine, the worst thing they can say is, you know, people turned on them, people called them conspiracy theorists when they weren't looking, etc. But the worst thing that happened to the people that did take the vaccine was strokes, heart attacks, death, clogged arteries, everything we said was going to happen before the vaccine was even introduced. Now, how is that? And yet the people that didn't take the vaccine, all they had was problems with the world. Their physical health, never been better. Strange, huh? Vaccines aren't, vaccines weren't, vaccines never will be to help humanity. Okay? Things that have things like thimerosal in them, thimerosal causes autism. When I was a kid, autism didn't exist. It just didn't exist. It didn't exist. And now it's everywhere. Because we have better testing. No, we don't have better testing. Better lies. Better propaganda. You know, back in the old days, I used to rail about the Smith-Mundt Act being repealed. I'll tell you now, I told you then. The Smith-Mundt Act was put in place by our government to protect our people, the citizens, from our government using propaganda against us. You use propaganda against your enemy. Well, they repealed the Smith-Mundt Act. And lots of us made a big deal out of it for a long time. And look where we're at now. Openly using propaganda, false flags, assassinations, staged events. It's going to get worse. And in order to get the digital ID in the United States, they're going to have to use brute force because propaganda is not going to work. And when I say brute force, I mean they're going to use a staged 9/11 type event using illegals. That way we can identify who's supposed to be here and who isn't supposed to be here. And they're also preparing all around us to the point where mainstream sound asleep YouTubers are catching on big time because Trump is putting Marines, ICE agents, and all sorts of troops all over the place, and he ain't stopping.
Right now, thousands of American troops are deploying to American cities around the country. One of these soldiers is named Adam Reyes. Let's say he's 19 years old, from a quiet suburb in Illinois. Adam enlisted in the National Guard a year ago as a way to serve his country one weekend a month and to help pay for classes at Northern Illinois University. On October 5th, Adam got a text message from his squad leader that read, "Report to the Armory, we're going to Chicago to protect federal facilities and agents downtown." It felt surreal to Adam because growing up, Chicago was the city where he and his family went every year to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade. It was where he and his buddies went on the weekends for concerts and parties.
You see what I mean by saying they're figuring things out, but they're still asleep? Because this dude is an infantryman like myself, which means he did his basic training in the same place I did. And he's awake to what's going on, but he's still using AI to make his videos. Unbelievable. But I digress.
Now he was going there as a soldier to possibly stop riots and be issued live ammunition. That night, Adam sat at his desk and started writing emails to his professors, explaining that he might miss the rest of the semester. Across the whole country, thousands of part-time citizen soldiers were doing the exact same thing, calling off from work, rearranging childcare to fulfill their commitment.
National Guard deployment to the Chicago area has begun in controversy over its constitutionality.
Hundreds of troops from the Texas and Illinois National Guard are now positioned to deploy across the Chicago area.
On October 5th, the White House federalized and deployed 300 National Guard troops from Illinois and 400 from Texas to the city of Chicago. So far in 2025, the White House has deployed 4,000 National Guard soldiers and 700 Marines to Los Angeles, 2,000 to Washington, D.C., over 100 to Tennessee, and there are now plans to activate the National Guard in 19 more states.
And regular people are looking at this saying, it's unconstitutional. It goes against posse comitatus. Well, they're using the Insurrection Act, so everything's out the window. And all of these judges that are saying it's unconstitutional, it's not stopping anything. Trump has already said we'll deal with them after the fact, because after the fact they'll just arrest him. That's it. This is it. This is really literally straight up going down. They're creating the problem with ICE. ICE is the highest paid federal job right now. Every other job's getting laid off, but ICE keeps it rolling, baby, no problem. They're creating the problem. They don't have to arrest people like this. They don't have to do it the way they're doing it. They're doing it this way to get a reaction. And then you've got the paid protesters, the domestic terrorists on the other side, doing their part. It's insane. It's complete and utter insanity, but it's the plan, and it's working because people are just thinking, you know, this is bad. I'll make an AI video about it and then leave it at that. Leave it at that. They're watching everything unfold from the internet. From the internet. Nobody's actually going boots on the ground. You see what I'm saying? Whatever. Or maybe it will. I don't know. Okay, let me remind you of one thing. People are under the impression that TikTok is the same type of electronic weapon that YouTube is. It is not. YouTube's been around for a decade and a half, maybe. Quite a while. TikTok is wholly new algorithm-driven technology that the moment it dropped, it was like it was raining manna from heaven and drugs from heaven at the same time. People got instantly addicted. Addicted to making content and addicted to consuming content. Do not use or participate in TikTok at all. I don't, and my life's pretty decent right now. Other than the fact that I feel like I'm yelling into a void that no one's listening to. I find it ironic now that how many people were pointing and whispering about me because I got my channels back. Well, here's a fun fact. My channels didn't come back organically. I got my backup channels back because when they all got taken down, all 6 of my channels got taken down in 6 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A YouTube subscriber who happens to be an entertainment attorney picked up my case. And he had been working on it in the background. I wasn't. I forgot about it. I moved on. When I got my channels back, he said, I got all your channels back except the main channel. And I'm like, the main channel is the only channel. The backups were backups. My main channel was my channel. The main channel was Richie from Boston. The main channel had 27 to 2,900 videos on it. That's a lot. But they refuse. And now suddenly channels that were pointing at me like I did something, they're getting their channels back with no legal interference at all. They didn't have a lawyer on their side. They're just getting their main channels back. Isn't that ironic? Don't you think? Whatever. It's all a Trojan horse at any rate. Just like I said the day I put my RFB2 back up online. They're here to data farm live for the AI. So here's one more thing I'm going to remind you of, and I'm going to remind you of this in every video. A, pray for that guy, Jack, and his wife, Judy, if you can. Because that is a heartbreaker. A 73-year-old guy from West Virginia has to drive 3 hours there and back just to sit with his wife, just hoping for the best. I mean, that's unbelievable. I've already said my prayer. You say your prayer for them. And if it goes awry, you can't say we didn't try. Prayer is the most powerful weapon there is. But another powerful weapon is going to be wielded against us very soon. When I say that when you decline the digital ID, everything is going to come to a screeching halt. You don't take the digital ID, you can't participate in life whatsoever at all. You're going to be locked out. You're going to be locked out. Why do you think Trump made it a point to pass those homelessness laws? Well, they were already on the books. Well, why would Trump bring them up all of a sudden? Didn't tell us what the drones were. Didn't tell us where the gold was in Fort Knox. You know what I'm saying? Didn't drop any food prices. Didn't do anything like that. He gave $500 billion to the richest 1% on earth. Our national debt is almost at $38 trillion right now. What they show us, it's at like 150 or 60 trillion right now, which is insane numbers, but whatever. America, nobody cares. Just go on TikTok. But here's the thing. If you do not comply, you need to understand what the ramifications are going to be, and you need to prepare yourself for this, because this is what it's going to look like. It's already happening in other countries. It's called being blacklisted.
This is what's currently happening in China, and you might be saying, well, that's China. It wouldn't happen in the United States or the United Kingdom. But China, United States, United Kingdom, all these countries that might look like enemies and different on TV are all saying the same exact thing at the World Economic Forum.
Broke, they got deleted. In China, tens of thousands of young people are suddenly homeless, not because of money, but because the system erased them.
Imagine a society where everything you do, everything you say, and everything you buy is controlled and evaluated by the authorities. This is what the Chinese Communist Party calls social credit.
By using the mechanism of social credit, we'll be able to establish a blacklist of people and create a system of punishment that will be based on a scientific theory. These punishments will serve as a whip to rebuild moral values. Our society needs it.
The country's social credit system decides who's trustworthy. But if you're blacklisted, it's game over. Your WeChat Pay stops working, you can't receive your salary, can't buy food, can't even book a train ticket. It's like being alive, but digitally. Many are now sleeping in the streets, cut off from everything. Jobs, housing, even communication. All because one app, one algorithm decided they don't belong.
It's not science fiction. In China, it's a reality.
Then there's the public shaming. Photo galleries of blacklisted citizens. There's even an app that shows who around you is in debt.
They're not criminals. They didn't steal, cheat, or harm anyone. They just fell too low on a score and vanished from the digital world. Critics say it's a glimpse into the future, where technology doesn't just track your life, it controls it. So ask yourself, if your entire life depended on your digital reputation, how long before you get deleted?
And what's even more...
Saying no is going to make saying no to the vaccine look like a walk in the park. But you have to understand, if you sign up for the digital ID, if you do the mandatory digital ID, you're going to lose your soul. Just period. You're going to lose your soul. There ain't going to be any way of getting around it. And if you're watching me, you're already on the list. So why even mess with the entire setup at all? Period. That's all I got. And that video on Patreon is live right now.